We approached Samuel Lambert about 6 months ago. We started seeing some of his collections appearing in restaurants in Montreal. Really liked the sort of industrial aesthetic that he had, and the whole concept of having a shop in downtown Montreal where each one of the lamps were made one at a time. So we was an open conversation. We went to go see him. We said, look, why don't you come see us, our stores, get a look and feel for what we're about, but we'd like to develop a collection. So he came on over, saw the store, saw the collection, saw the furniture. I think he looked at every single lamp, inspected it carefully, just to see what we were all about, and then said, sure, let's see what we can do together. So we had an idea in terms of the general direction of look and feel. We wanted to make sure that we kept to his aesthetic, obviously, but also did a little bit of a modern take on it so that it fit with the rest of our aesthetic. And so that's where this collection of 6 different lamps comes from. Sketches back and forth, but it was a fairly smooth and easy transition in terms of developing the collection. Samuel had a pretty clear direction as well in terms of what aesthetic he wanted and what he felt he was going towards. So we have 2 pendant lamps, 2 floor lamps, a table lamp, as well as a new category for us, the sconce lamp here, the wall lamp, which is really neat. 4 simple drills right into the wall, and we thought it was an interesting new category for us. Beautiful piece, very simple, doesn't take up too much space, and then can do 2 of them above nightstands in a bedroom or in a reading section above a chair. We thought it was a really neat and interesting new category that we wanted to get into. In terms of the materials that he uses, combination of the die-cast aluminum, the brass, as well as a little hint of marble that you see here. All of the materials, depending on where they come, depending on what materials we're talking about, but most of them are either Canada or United States. But each one of these lamps are handmade one at a time in his shop. He went from having 4 workers that he was working with to now 12. It was a change for him because he was used to making sort of 1 lamp at a time. In his shop. So customers would come in, he'd make adjustments to some of the lamps, but then put them in a bag and then customer would leave with it. In this case here, he had to change his production a little bit because he was making a collection, several of them, and had to make sure that the packaging as well made sense. But he was able to figure it out, and now we have these 6 lamps here that I think are a nice directional, new direction, as much for him as it is for us. You see hints a little bit of Scandinavian, mid-century modern influences. And what I find so beautiful about each one is, although they are fairly minimalist and subtle, they have a lot of character and feel. They don't dominate in terms of the space that they take up, but when you start looking at them from different angles, you know, even this lamp here from the front, from the side, this sort of satellite type of inspiration. You see here with a slightly larger bulb. When you look at it from the front versus the side, it takes on a different dynamic, which is really fun. And you notice certain details about them the closer you look, which is really interesting. The other aspect that I find really beautiful is that aluminum is done on a wood mold, reverse molding, where you start seeing a little bit in the aluminum the lines that are created because they're done by hand. The shade here, for example, is not a perfect curve. There are some imperfections, even in the brass as well. You'll see little nicks in the brass, but that's part and parcel of the beauty of the collection. That ties into the sort of handmade